Apparently this fucking weirdo is talking about me. So let's see here. This guy's name is Nuxanor, whatever the fuck his name is. Let's see here. Y'all want me to cook this guy? Let's see.
Look at this guy. All right, about this guy. Anyway, moving on to more exciting and important things. All right, we got.
Oh, thank you, bro. I appreciate that. Exciting and more important things.
We got to talk about this guy.
I was right about y'all.
So anyway, this guy apparently was just having a conversation with Tectone. I was told I needed to react to a little segment of it.
We don't have any. Only the president has control, and like you got to put the best person in play for foreign policy.
Well, Nux Taco, I give you full consent.
Those are bad. Like that's like you. Like you know, there's like idiotic guys that like support the state of Israel that are Muslims or Arabs or whatever. Like those guys are idiots.
Morons
so like, you know,
everywhere.
There's like Arab Zionists too. Like bro, like there's no. I'm not a like all are bad. Like that's
not all the.
Like you know what I mean? Yeah, of course it's not all the, but it's always the. Okay. Bro, this guy, what is it? Chat, I've never heard of this channel in my life. Is this guy like a progressive? Like a no-face progressive commentary channel? Do any of you guys know who this dude is? He's a...
Every single time, every single crime, every single lie, early lie.
Okay, so so basically you guys are saying he's a Jewish anime channel. He's a Jewish dude that runs an anime channel. Why the f is he commenting on politics then? Anyway, let's see. Like, cause let me be clear about...
Hitler was right about you, but not all of you.
There's like Arab Zionists that are retard.
Yeah, anyway, so all right, what's this?
Controlling like you gotta. All right, let me deal with this first. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do, chat. I'm gonna debunk all of his lies one by one. Okay, you guys ready to watch me cook this dreidel spinning? So okay, let's go with this first thing. Arab Zionists that are retard.
Yeah, anyway, so all right, what's this?
Controlling like you gotta put the best person in play for foreign policy.
Well, Nux Taco, I give you full consent to react to this and upload it on your channel. I would love to know your thoughts on this, Nux. Really, really good.
Oh, thank you, bald man. Anyway, all right, let's see what this actual segment is. This was the segment I was told.
Okay, where's the one he said some shit about all of bad. Like that's retarded.
Right about you, but not all of you.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, because let me be clear about...
Hitler was right about you, but not all of you.
Okay, let's talk about that. Because Louis Theroux asked me made the same exact claim, right? Let's go through this. When I went on that legendary rant and I said, Hitler was right about y'all, right? What I was referring to, okay, was the concept of what's called world Jewry. What is world Jewry? World Jewry is basically the concept where people who are a diaspora race, okay, they're an ethnic religion because you can be a who's Muslim or Christian or practice Judaism because it is an ethnicity. It's an ethno-religion, okay? So since they've been kicked out of so many different civilizations, 100 plus, 109, right? They've never really had a homeland. It wasn't until 1948 that they finally had their own homeland, which is now. But leading up to that, they've always been a displaced people. So they had to learn early on to work together, okay? I'll give you guys a perfect example. Randy Fine admitted on Tim Pool a couple of days ago that he didn't go to until what? Until he got into politics, right? Why? Because own Congress. He thought that would make him have more credibility. No, it didn't. It proved what I've been saying forever. Run America and Congress. You didn't even go to Israel until you became a politician. And then on top of that, since you went to Israel, you've been posting a significant amount of pro-Israel content with an flag in your office. You are an American politician with dual allegiance, and that dual allegiance came after you became a politician and went to Israel. Why? I'll tell you why. Because the Jews have a strong affinity and tie to Israel because they are an ostracized group of people who have been displaced, murdered, attacked, marginalized. I'm not arguing that weren't victims and that atrocity didn't happen. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that trauma made them the way that they are now. And this is where the concept of world Jewry comes. And it's simply this. Use their power and influence in their host country to aid and support other Jews all across the world. And now that we have the state of Israel, that is now done via supporting regardless of where they come from, okay? This is why most American Jews that are Zionists typically will put Israel first. This is precisely why Ben Shapiro is getting cooked right now. Because as a right-wing American political commentator, after October 7th, the mask came off. And we also saw what he really cares about. It is okay? Now, this is a conversation that's been forbidden for a very long time. But thanks to October 7th and the mass awakening and TikTok and Twitter, people got to see where their tax dollars really go. Where do they go? They go to a bloodthirsty, insane military infrastructure that represents the state of Israel. They dropped bombs on babies. They did a genocide in 4K, okay? We saw kids getting absolutely annihilated. We saw the heartbreaking story of Hind Rajab, where she was sitting in a car and tank fired on her and her family. And as she was sitting there bleeding out talking to 911, the operator asked her, hey, keep talking to me. And she said, I want to talk to you, but every time I talk, blood comes out of my mouth and I don't want my mom to be mad at me for making a mess. It was a heartbreaking call. It's one of the most disturbing things I've ever listened to. But this is what I'm talking about. World Jewry has put the IDF in a position to do the atrocities they do. They face no real consequences internationally with the UN because we cover for them. They get aid from us. They're able to conduct horrible things all across the Middle East with almost no consequence. And the only reason they're able to do this is because of World Jewry. We have wealthy, influential in America. We have them in Australia. They're in Canada. They're all over the world. And they almost always, not all, but they almost always have more allegiance to the state of and their people than the host nation. And this is precisely why they have been kicked out of so many different places. Now, back to this anime who clearly doesn't know anything. When I said Hitler was right about y'all, what I was referring to is that they practice World Jewry, they run the banks, they run the media, they run all the main infrastructure of their host country. And with that power and influence, they utilize that to benefit one another. This is why they hire their own. That's why there's a saying, if you one makes money, 10 make money. It's actually a very impressive feat. You guys know me. I give credit where it's due. I've praised the Mossad for being one of the best intelligence agencies ever, despite the fact that I disagree with them. They are good at what they do. And I also give credit and say that the Jews stick together. And this is why they're not extinct. But that does not change the fact that World Jewry is really real. And for all the idiots that want to sit there and call me an anti-Semite, I got receipts as always.
Every single time, every single crime, every single lie, early lie, every single hour, every single day, every single night.
Yeah, I did not make this up. For every that comes and says, this is an anti-Semitic rant, Myron. What the f is this? What the f is this? They put it in our faces. Pause. You want more receipts? They run this country?
Every single time, every single crime, every single lie, early lie, every single hour, every single day, every single night, early lie. I know it's hard to believe it's the whole forest, not one tree, and it's
How many more receipts do I need? And I was the first person to discover this and put this out on social media, by the way. 96% of AIPAC-backed candidates won their general election race in 2024. And they have the World Congress. So, to this here, who clearly doesn't understand what I'm saying, okay? That's what I'm referring to when I said Hitler was right about y'all niggas. And I have the receipts right here of them using their influence internationally to push the pro-Zionist, pro-agenda. All right, there's like Arab Zionists that are retard.
Yeah, anyway, so, all right, what's this?
Trolling like you gotta. So once again, where's the lie? Okay, so Hitler was right and I'm right too, because almost 100 years later, what are the Jews doing now? They own big tech, they own pornography, they run Hollywood, they run the social media companies, they run finance. All the founders of BlackRock are the heads of almost every Ivy League school in the United States are Jews. Like, how much more proof do we need? And Hitler noticed this almost 100 years ago. And before him, the real was Henry Ford, where he made a book called The International, which Hitler drew a lot of his thoughts from. We got to give credit to the original OG, Henry Ford. But they were both correct. Put the best person in play for foreign policy.
Well, Nux Taco, I give you full consent to react to this and upload it on your channel. I would love to know your thoughts on this, Nux. Really, really good.
Oh, thank you, Bald Man. Anyway, all right, let's see what this actual segment is. This was the segment I was told to react to about 10 minutes over here, where he basically says that the Iran war is like secretly the convinced Trump to bomb Iran or something. All right, so lock in, everybody. Here we go. We got to address the drama.
So I get it. But you know, and I totally understand that. But I do think that it's important. And I wish more Americans like understood Middle Eastern foreign policy and understood like what's really going on over there in the Middle East. And a lot of it, right, is like Jewish propaganda, dude. Like, there's been
the Jewish propaganda of the mass genocide of Christians across like every Middle Eastern country aside from
like an insane. You guys just did a genocide now. There have been wars over religion for thousands of years. You guys did a genocide in 2023. Up until now, they are not the same. What? Push from, we live in a modern society. You are like 400 years back, colonizing and killing. The Zionist lobby to push like anti-Muslim propaganda and be like, oh yeah.
You know, honestly, people would really like Muslims a lot more if they would stop killing people all the time. I'm not trying to be controversial here or anything, all right? But I feel like the best way to stop Islamophobia is if the Muslims stop killing people.
Okay, who's killed more people, Hamas or the IDF? Who's killed more people, Hezbollah or the IDF? What is this guy talking about? Went to war with 7 different countries after October 7th, dude. kill their own people. It's like, see, this is the problem. He'll sit there and be like, oh yeah, Muslims are violent, bro. They start the story in the middle. They start it where the Arabs punch them in the face.
Welcome, punch!
Oy vey, I'm a victim. But they don't talk to you about everything that led up to that. They don't talk about the Nakba. They don't talk about the Deir Yassin massacre. They don't talk about all the resolutions that they tried to steal land. They don't talk about the occupation. They don't talk about how they're expanding the illegal West Bank settlements. They never talk about that. They always start the story right at this moment when they're about to get punched. Never what led to the punch, ever. There's an old saying, the cries as he strikes you. And this is precisely what this guy doesn't get. The IDF is the biggest terrorist organization in the Middle East. What is terrorism? Since this guy's a terrorism, let's go real official with this. Let's go with the FBI definition, because they're the lead agency on terrorism. The FBI defines terrorism as the unlawful use of force or violence against persons or property to intimidate or coerce a government or civilian population in furtherance of political or social objectives. Okay? The IDF does this every day, all right? They do this every day. So if you want to sit there and say Muslims are violent and all this other bullshit, let's be fair. They're also violent, which is why the Muslims are violent. They're getting their land stolen. If someone if someone steals your house after you invited them in, you're going to fight to get your house back. It's that simple, okay? What happened was because the are trying to destroy a mosque in Jerusalem called the Al-Aqsa Mosque.
Oh my God. If the Jews wanted to destroy the Al-Aqsa Mosque, the Jews destroyed Al-Aqsa Mosque anytime since 1967, all right? The fact that Al-Aqsa Mosque is still there means that the Jews have not been trying to destroy it.
No, because they're waiting to get the red cows done. And they just got the red cows a couple of years ago. Debunked once again. Back like 4 years ago, they bought some red cows from Texas. So yes, they are absolutely planning to destroy the Al-Aqsa Mosque. It's just that they were waiting to get the cows, to get the personnel that can do the slaughter or the ritual. It's a very labor-intensive and specific and pedantic operation. That is why Hamas called the operation, when they attacked on October 7th, Operation Al-Aqsa Flood, because they knew that the red cows were brought from Texas, which would accelerate the destruction of the mosque. So once again, he's wrong.
October 7th didn't happen because the Jews tried to destroy that mosque. October 7th happened.
It was one of the reasons that they invaded. That is why the operation is literally called Operation Al-Aqsa Flood. Now, Western media never covers this, but that is why it's called that.
And because the Muslims, who have agency, all right, ultimately, and have the ability of free will, very, very much like the idea of killing and
No. Did he say that they have agency and autonomy?
free will, because the Muslims, who have agency, all right, ultimately, and have the ability of free will.
Okay, free will when they're being occupied by another country, free will when they have no rights, free will when they're treated as second-class citizens in their indigenous homeland, free will when they're arrested and put in jail without a charge, free will when they cut the grass and routinely bomb and or attack certain locations in the West Bank and or in Gaza, free will when they control all the food and water going in and they were able to actually conduct a genocide by starvation. There is no free will because they're being occupied by another group of people. And to add insult to injury, the prime minister of the occupiers, Benjamin Netanyahu, he's a So let me get this straight. The Canaanites who were originally there, who are actually Palestinians that we call today, Arabs, the real Semites, are being occupied by Jews, who many of them are European, by the way. Some are Arab, Mizrahi, some are Ashkenazi, white, European. But to add insult to injury, the top Benjamin Netanyahu is Polish. Yet he sits there and says, this is our land. Bro, you're Polish. Every prime minister has been Ukrainian, Polish, Russian. In other words, they're all Eastern Europeans. And I also find it interesting how most of it is filled with secular individuals or atheists, yet they sit there and say, God promised them this land 2,000 years ago. But wait, I thought you didn't believe in God. Oh, well, he still promised me this land though. Like what? Like what?
Very, very much like the idea of killing and they say
no, actually, you guys do that. And as a matter of fact, I got the receipts if you don't believe me.
Every single time, every single crime, every single lie, early lie, every single hour, every single day.
In July 2024, protesters and some officials defended the right of soldiers to abuse or rape Palestinian prisoners following the detention of soldiers accused of a detainee at the SDE Tenemon facility. They were literally protesting, chat. because they got caught a Palestinian on video. And by the way, just so you guys know, none of them got any jail time. And these guys were protesting here saying they have the right to rape. So every time this guy makes an accusation, it's really a confession. It's the that
It themselves, actually.
this mosque is the third holiest site in all of the Islamic faith.
Yeah, it's built right on top of the ruins of the temple. For any of those that studied Christian or history, on top of the ruins of the temple, the colonizers, the Muslims, who are the #1 colonial people on the planet. All right.
What? Number one, Muslims didn't destroy the temple. The Catholics did. That's why they got your guys' menorahs at the Vatican laughing at y'all niggas.
That was easy.
That's number one. Number two, the Canaanites, who are the Palestinians, were there the whole time. They actually have ties to the land. A lot of these Ashkenazi Jews don't. They're Eastern Europeans, like I said before. But Muslims did not destroy the temple.
Right, so they decided to colonize the area and build a mosque on top of the ruins of the temple, claim the area as theirs, and if the Jews ever wanted to destroy
They've been there the whole time. They're literally tied to the land.
it, they would.
And what they're trying to do is they're trying to rebuild the third. Canaanites were the first people that were in the region, and those are Palestinians, aka Arabs of today. Temple, and they imported a bunch of red
It's not rebuilding, it's building. There was never a third temple to rebuild.
cows from Texas, your home. Okay, now you're just being a pedantic. You clearly knew what I meant, buddy. State. Two, that they
Okay, these are like radical extremists that are trying to import red cows to rebuild the third temple. All right? I'm sorry, man. This isn't like the Jew policy anywhere.
plan to slaughter. Oh, really? That's not the Jewish policy anywhere? Okay, buddy. See, I got receipts, bro. I got receipts. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. If you don't believe me, let's go ahead and ask a fellow Jew.
This was a big thing over at InfoWars and on the dissident right media for the longest time. The Jew hate media. Yeah, do you have my tweet that I actually put on my... So I basically, what happened, if you want to go to the first slide first before we play the video. About a month ago on July 1st, there was an announcement that they were going to do a practice run of the red heifer. And
Oh, the red heifer.
Conflict in Gaza now entering its 6th month. The Israeli operation to root out Hamas terrorists there has resulted in the deaths of 30,000 Palestinians and 242 Israeli soldiers. The war started after Hamas.
A confounding yet eye-opening motive has escaped the headline.
An eye-opening motive has escaped the headlines. I've told you guys this before. Now we're going to see Abu Ubaida, and he's going to talk about it.
In a
Bakarat means cow in Arabic, guys, and Hamad is red.
opening motive has escaped the headline.
Now, this guy's Abu Ubaida. Abu Ubaida was a spokesperson for Hamas, okay? And he went over in detail why they attacked. And a big reason was because of the red cows. The Abraham Accord, the red cows, which was going to obviously begin to be the beginning of the destruction of the Al-Aqsa Mosque, okay? It was a huge provocation.
In a recent speech, a Hamas spokesman blamed the Jews for bringing red cows to the Holy Land. The cows he's talking about at a secure, undisclosed location
Oh, so he wasn't lying, was he?
are these red heifers, to be precise. Some Jews and
What did this say?
Temple. Are like radical extremists that are trying to import red cows to rebuild.
That they
Okay, these are like radical extremists that are trying to import red cows to rebuild the third temple. All right? I'm sorry, man. This isn't...
Yeah, and those are the people that run your government. Do I need more receipts? I'll give you more receipts. Ben Gvir, okay? For those of you that don't know, look at this. Ben Gvir, guys, is the national security guy for... Okay, here he is, this guy right here. He is the Minister of National Security. He's like the equivalent of, in America, as like the Attorney General / the head of the Homeland Security. He's like a combination of both, if we were to give like an equivalent, okay? This guy is a radical right-wing politician. And he used to have a picture of a terrorist named Baruch Goldstein on his wall that killed like 30 Palestinians back in the day, okay? During Ramadan, if I'm not mistaken. And one of the things that Ben Gvir does is he literally walks on the Temple Mount, even though he's not supposed to agitate the Palestinians. This guy has an enormous amount of power in Israel. So what are you talking about, dude? This isn't a bunch of radical people. This is your government, literally.
like that are trying to import...
That they
Okay, these are like radical extremists that are trying to import red cows to rebuild the third temple.
Yes, they are. Here's more receipts of that.
Christians believe they're the key to rebuilding the historic temple in Jerusalem and to beckoning the Messiah. To understand, you have to go back nearly 2,000 years.
Bro, how much more receipts do I need, man?
All right? I'm sorry, man. This isn't like the Jew policy anywhere.
And so, actually it is. Because your boy Ben Gvir has been trying to agitate this issue for a very long time, okay? Where's the link? Boom.
Dozens of
Worshippers openly prayed and bowed in the Temple Mount on Tuesday,
They're not allowed to do that.
blatantly defying the sensitive status quo procedures for the Flashpoint site. They received support from Israel's national security minister and another minister, both visiting the site to mark Tisha B'Av.
This guy's he doesn't realize that all the people that run the government at this point are all far-right radical. So he's just lying to you guys. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Slaughter to bring their Messiah, right? And they'll sit there and they'll say, "Oh yeah, these guys over in Iran are crazy radical clerics, blah blah blah."
Yeah.
Okay, fair. But
Right.
you guys literally the are way more radical than the Iranians. Are trying to destroy a mosque, start a war in the Middle East.
Why isn't the mosque destroyed? I don't understand. Like, this is where the argument's all.
Because they were waiting to get the red cows. There's an entire ceremony that they need to do that is extremely delicate and needs to be followed to a certain point. That's why Adam King went on Tim Pool, as you guys can see here, to do a practice run. Not only did he do a practice run, this weirdo brought the ashes with him.
In the Bible, and that shows you how long the
Look, he brought the ashes with him from a burnt cow. How many more receipts do you need? See, it's like, this isn't fair. It's like I'm beating up a little kid. This dude doesn't know what he's talking about at all. No wonder he doesn't show his face.
all fall apart. It's like the Jews are trying to genocide the people in Gaza. Okay, so then why?
They didn't try. They did. They absolutely did. Okay? They absolutely did. Almost every human rights organization has concluded that what went down in Gaza, by definition, was a genocide. What is the definition of genocide? Let's go ahead and spell that out too. Okay? Because some people, a lot of try to deny this. Genocide is the intentional systematic destruction of a national, ethnic, racial, or religious group by the 1948 UN Genocide Convention as acts including killing, causing serious harm, or creating conditions designed to destroy the group. It is recognized crime under international law, often involving stages like classification, humanization, blah, blah, blah. Okay? So also it's important. Oh, hold on. Interesting. Hold on. We might have just had a big break here, chat. We might have just had. Okay, so this is the official one, right? The official definition of genocide established by the 1948 Genocide Convention is the intent to destroy in whole or in part. Guys, this is key wording, in whole or in part, okay? But I want you guys to, I just caught something just now. Notice at the Holocaust Memorial Museum that there is no, does this have in part? Oh, okay, so it is here. All right, perfect. Okay, so even on their own website, it says in whole or in part. So yeah, there's no debating this, okay? All the genocide experts have already concluded that what happened was a genocide. And just to give you guys more receipts, let me do that real quick as well, okay? I showed you guys the red cow. And this isn't going to be Mehdi Hassan saying this, but let me show you guys something. There was a video he dropped on this topic.
The G word, genocide. A genocide of perpetrating an anti-Semitic blood libel. And yet here's the thing they don't want you to know. Genocide experts are almost all in agreement.
Hard R, thank you for the five gifted.
That what's
Trem, thank you so much for the one gifted. Hard R again. And
happening is a genocide, per the legal definition under the Genocide Convention.
Because it's in whole or in part. Very important, guys, as I showed you the definition.
Acts committed with the intent to destroy in whole or in part a national, ethnic, including experts on the subject of genocide to avoid being gaslit by apologists for it. First, there are the academic experts who say Gaza is a genocide. Martin Shaw, who literally wrote the book What is Genocide? Melanie O'Brien, who is the literal president of the International Association of Genocide Scholars. Dirk Moses, who is the senior editor of the Journal of Genocide Research. Eva Vukušić, who helped prosecute the Srebrenica genocide. William Shabas, who even defended Myanmar against charges of genocide, against the Rohingya, but says what is doing in Gaza now is a genocide.
So all the experts and the human rights organizations say that it's a genocide. And many of them, as you guys can see from their names, are Jews. And as a matter of fact, there's a rights organization called B'Tselem, based in Israel. They even concluded that this is a genocide. So, hey, buddy.
Why? This is where the argument.
It's not trying. It is a genocide.
All fall apart. It's like the Jews are trying to genocide the people in Gaza.
Not trying. They already did.
Okay, so then why did they do such a bad job at it? Are the Jews trying to...
Because you don't have to kill all of them to match the definition. The definition, once again, because this dude's a says in whole or in part. You don't have to eliminate all of them to conduct genocide.
To destroy a mosque in Jerusalem. Okay, so then why are the Jews so bad at it though? Like, I'm not trying to be controversial or anything, but if the Jews wanted to destroy the mosque, it would be destroyed.
Okay, by your logic, that basically what you're saying is like, oh, if I shoot you and I don't kill you, I'm a terrible murderer. I'm a terrible murderer. I couldn't get the job done. Oh, shucks. it. I missed all the vitals. Whether you attempt or actually make it happen does not change the fact that you still did it, okay? Attempted murder is basically the same thing as actual murder, okay? So for him to sit there and be like, oh, well, you know, they're terrible because they didn't complete the job. Oh, so, okay, so they got to kill all 2.5 million for you to say it's a genocide? Huh? Like what, dude?
That's one. And two, you can't compare the tiny minority of religious extremists that are trying to import red cows to usher in Messiah, okay?
Your government is run by them, as I just proved. Your government is literally run by religious zealots that believe in the red cow ceremony. Literally. It was run by far-right religious zealots.
You cannot compare those guys to an Islamic regime that just massacred 40,000 of their own people in the street.
That's not true. Once again with the 40,000 lie. That is not true. Not true at all. Now, the Iranians say somewhere between 3,000 or so were killed. We know it's not 40,000, and it's probably more than 3,000. I don't believe any media source. But let's be honest here. If they had really killed 40,000 people, the people would not be standing behind the government like they are right now, saying, hit back, getting bombed and saying, oh, that's to America, we're going to hit them back if they actually kill 40K. That's not true. That is a lie that was pushed by Western media to try to get a rebel and a regime change. And it didn't work. It failed. There's so much documented information on this. We got media admitting that some of the people that were trying to instigate these riots were taught by Mossad. I showed you guys a tweet earlier from Mike Pompeo where he said, Mossad walks amongst you in January. The United States got caught trying to smuggle Starlink devices into Iran for the agitators because the Iranian government shut down the internet during the protests, which significantly impeded the ability for the agitators to conduct their operations. Trump admitted that he supplied guns to protesters. He literally admitted it. There was an oversight committee that also admitted that they were behind smuggling the Starlinks. I've shown receipts for all of this before, so I don't want to be redundant. If you guys want me to really show the receipts on this stuff, that's fine. Scott Bessent admitted that he purposely crashed the Rial to begin an economic crisis to get the riots to effectuate a regime change. You know, f it, bro.
Every single time, every single crime, every single lie, early lie, every single hour, every single day, every single night, early lie. I know it's hard to believe it's the whole forest, not one tree, and it's every branch and leaf. They're born to deceive, but I'm telling you the truth.
CBS
it's
recently-
not just one or two, it's every single Jew. They all hate you. And it really breaks my heart, but their lies are off the charts, and they only bring us harm. You gotta get smart. So if you want to be safe and don't want to get replaced.
All right, receipt time.
Inflation has plagued the Iranian currency, known as the rial, just as the inflation has hit much of the world. The difference, however, is that Iran is under intense sanctions that severely limit its ability to stay over 100
Here's the receipts.
billion. Back to listen to Scott Bessent talk about the impact of these sanctions today.
There are Treasury sanctions. And if you look at a speech that I gave at the Economic Club of New York last March, I said that I believe the Iranian currency was on the verge of collapse, that if I were an Iranian citizen, I would take my money out. President Trump ordered Treasury and our OFAC division, Office of Foreign Asset Control, to put maximum pressure on Iran, and it's worked, because in December, their economy collapsed. We saw a major
So he's admitting that they purposely did this to instigate mass riots.
bank go under. The central bank has started to print money. There is a dollar shortage. They are not able to get imports. And this is why the people took to the street. So this is economic stake. No shots fired. Things are moving in a very positive way here.
Inflation.
So they purposely crashed the currency. Now let's move forward to the protests, right?
Protesters, after he tried urging them to riot, they questioned him about the business he supposedly owned to see if he was a legitimate protester.
So boom, they see a protester acting weird and they question him like, hey, why are you protesting so hard?
When he couldn't answer basic questions, they tossed him out of the protests. And in this video, student protests were hijacked by 3 anti-government provocateurs who tried leading chants against the government. Students responded, however, by drowning them out with their own pro-government chants and waved the nation's flag instead. There are many videos like this from the early days of the protests showing that most demonstrators were uninterested in regime change and were only focused on inflation and consumer prices. But that didn't stop Western media and politicians from weaponizing the narrative. Right-wing platform and influencer accounts like Visegrad began posting AI slop and outright fabrications to paint the picture of a massive uprising against the government. In this video, they used
all AstroTurf chat
footage of normal everyday activity in Iran and dubbed fake audio over it to make it appear as if it were an anti-government protest.
This was a strategic hit job, okay? Look at this.
Rioters were arrested and police stationed them to death. They set fire to mosques, hospitals.
That's how you know it was Masadov. They're setting fire to mosques.
Markets, banks, and
shooting at cops.
Police station. This is when the Iranian government began its crackdown. Several rioters were arrested and interrogated. It became clear that they had been instigated and directed by Mossad-linked operations. In this clip, you can see a Mossad agent giving explicit instructions to rioters on how to make Molotov cocktails, what to target, and how to handle police if arrested. Other interrogations revealed that Mossad agents used Instagram to contact young, poor, naive Iranians and offered them money to carry out attacks on the government and society at large. In another interrogation, a captured rioter said he was instructed by Mossad, quote, "If you can form a 6-person team, that would be very good, and you can command them yourself." He said their goal was to engage in project killing, so people would be affected and say, "They killed so-and-so, they killed a youth," and then pour into the streets for more protests. Once the crackdown began, Western politicians escalated the rhetoric and poured fuel onto the fire. Mike Pompeo tweeted, "The Iranian
boom, the one I showed you earlier.
Regime is in trouble."
I mean, how much more proof do I got to show you guys?
Bringing in mercenaries next year to every the CIA director fully addressed inflation in an this nation
Okay.
in the region.
Now look at this. This is the media. Listen to this, chat. On one hand, I see a lot of boldness. I also see they're very compartmentalized. He's referring to the agitators, okay, the protesters. The material also comes out nicely, which means they receive training. I wonder by who? There's probably some training here. There's no way this is purely natural on its own. And that's okay, and that's not wrong. And therefore, there is some guiding hand here. I wonder who the guiding hand is. Don't forget that Iran is a nation of tribes and ethnic groups. And they try to leverage this and create sectarian violence, chat, amongst different people, because they have Persians, they have Balochs, they have Arabs, they have all these different types of people. They have a big community, by the way. A lot of people don't know that. The second most amount of Jews in the Middle East live in Iran. Foreigners, Baluchis, Azwahis, Arabs, and non-Arabs. So there's very strong line here of intelligence type work. I mean, dude, they're literally admitting it on TV. How much more receipts do I need? But ultimately, the Iranian people have to do it. Now, here's another one. Tamir, we reported tonight that foreign actors are arming the protests in Iran with live firearms, which is the reason for hundreds of regime personnel killed. Everyone is free to guess who is behind it. Dude, they admit it.
Now, in response to this regime.
Now, check this out. Here's Max Blumenthal, okay?
We learned through a hearing of a House
all public, guys,
Oversight Committee in U.S. Congress today that an organization called the National Endowment for Democracy, which is funded by the U.S. government, which exists to promote regime change,
probably funded by an intelligence agency
around the world by sponsoring the so-called civil society groups, media, activists, training, journalists.
They smuggled it in.
Starlink into Iran, and he declared that the National Endowment for Democracy had already deployed 200 Starlink terminals into Iran.
We've been investing in communication tools over years that allow for information to be sent into Iran even when internet connectivity is blocked. We specifically began supporting the deployment,
Now, it gets better, guys. I got more receipts. Look at this. Trump admitting that he armed.
Trump accidentally admitted that we sent arms to protesters in Iran. Because that's our favorite move. Remember, they were saying it was a conspiracy. The Iranian government was saying these protesters are not real. They are working on behalf of and they are trying to, from the inside out, collapse our nation, essentially a color revolution, which we do all over the world.
We did it in Ukraine.
We've done it many times over. And then the government said, oh, no, this was just a normal uprising. This is how the people were feeling. Well, yeah, then Trump accidentally, and it was quite stunning, admitted to the fact that what was once deemed a conspiracy is a fact. We armed protesters in Iran. Take a listen to what Trump said during the White House Easter celebration.
If they protest, if they go out in the streets, they will be immediately shot. They don't have guns. You know, we sent some guns, but the group that was supposed to give, which I said would happen to my people, I said it, I called it exactly. We sent guns, a lot of guns. They were supposed to go to the people so they could fight back against these thugs. You know what happened?
Do you guys see now why the 40K narrative is a lie? I think I just showed you guys an overwhelming amount of evidence that the 40,000 is a lie and it was an astroturfed attempt to do a coup. This guy's a true.
All right, like a death cult that chants. Oh, I can't say that or get banned on YouTube. A death cult that basically is screaming and yelling about death to America every single day, and they have this jihadist ideology where
they say death to America because we've been intervening in their affairs since the 1950s with Operation Ajax, which then led to the Shah, who was oppressing the people. Then that led to the Iranian Revolution. We are the ones that started all these problems. Okay, that's why they say death to America, death to. And when they say that, they're talking about our governments, okay? Especially ours, where we're owned by the
actually trying to dominate the world, right? Oh, yeah, but you hear about the...
Wait, did this guy just say that they're trying to dominate the world? What?
Jihadist ideology, screaming and yelling about death to America every single day, and they have this jihadist ideology where they're actually trying to dominate the world, right? Oh, yeah.
No, okay, who actually dominates the world, though? Who actually controls everything, buddy? What are you talking about? Dude, every admission is a confession by this guy, dude.
Yeah, but you hear about the... trying to import red cows.
Start all these. Yeah, that was a fact, and I showed that. Problems. You guys are passing legislation to hang Palestinians.
That's a lie. Recently passed legislation to hang terrorists who commit murder, who, yeah, mostly are Palestinians because there's...
And they don't get fair trials at all. That's the issue. These people don't get fair trials, but they can be put to death with almost no due process.
A lot of terrorism there.
Right?
True.
Like, are actually there's more terrorism being conducted by the IDF than the Palestinians. The IDF kills way more people, okay? They literally just destroyed Gaza. What are you talking about? Real radical, religious, crazy nut jobs. It's just that...
Man, I wish they were radical, crazy nut jobs, you know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, there's way too much gay shit in Israel, even right now, so, you know, listen, man.
Once again, he doesn't even know who runs his country, bro. Or I don't know if this guy's like just American or he's in his... But this dude's clearly doesn't know who his government officials are.
Dude.
No one ever talks about this because it gets you banned.
Oh,
so
shit.
Look,
I'm sorry. My favorite trend is when people say, I can't say this out loud or I'll get banned, and then they just say it out loud.
We can, you know, two things can be true at the same time. You can go ahead and talk about the jihadis and the radical Muslims. Fair, no problem.
True.
But we have to be honest and also say that there's a radical problem as well, and that's what everyone is terrified to actually address.
So how many wars have those guys started? Because I keep hearing...
They're fighting on 7 fronts right now. Are you serious? Dude, this guy posted this video 3 days ago. Are you serious, bro? They're in Lebanon right now. They literally invaded Lebanon. They ran a coup to take over Syria. They bombed Iran. What? They bombed Qatar. A Gulf ally. This guy can't be serious. They bombed Iraq. Even Netanyahu himself will tell you we're fighting on 7 different fronts. These always start war. Why? Because their motto is this: rise up and kill them first. The old Mossad slogan used to be, by deception, we create war. They attack first during the 12-day war. They attack first with the recent war on February 28th. And that is the reason why we got involved. You don't believe me? Here's some more receipts. I'm literally cooking this guy real time. Let me get you guys the thing.
Hearing about the radical...
So I haven't really got into the whole...
How many radical terrorist attacks have happened on Western countries lately? I don't know. I haven't been keeping track.
The thing too much.
Sure. The reason why there is terrorism in the West is because we support it. Okay? And there have been terrorist attacks.
I have a buddy. Do you know who Nux Taku is?
Uh-oh.
No.
Thank God. Thank
One
God.
of the best out there. And so I hear a lot of
Bro, stop.
I still haven't really heard from someone who's well researched about why the Jews are the issue. So if you were to explain to me,
the Jews are a massive issue. Are overrepresented literally everywhere. What are you talking about? 0.2% of the population is 33% of the Holy Trinity. All right, that was a joke, but you know, I'm just saying.
Yo, this guy's in. Oh, wow.
There are absolutely issues. I mean, so many push like some of the leftist that we see everywhere. A lot of these like movements of equality movements, the feminist, abortion. Like a lot of this like unbelievable, disgusting.
Yeah. They push transgenderism, communism, Marxism, like literally every ism has been propagated and pushed by the Jews. Liberalism, mass immigration, all of it pushed by them.
Slop.
At least he admits that.
Comes from woke that are spearheading all these movements, and it's diabolical. All right, a lot of the Hollywood woke propaganda garbage is leftist oriented. Like I'll be real. All right, if anyone wants a hard
exactly, and that's what I was talking about when I said Top H was right about them.
Hard case for I really make everyone mad, don't I?
Admit that they're quite ignorant on that subject. What would that be if you would explain why the Jews are the problem?
All right.
Well, I'll angle it from the America First perspective, and then if you want to go deeper into the lore, we can do that. But I'll simplify it this way.
All right.
They have an enormous amount of representation and power in the United States that they utilize to the benefit of a foreign nation that puts us in a precarious situation geopolitically.
Really interesting.
Oh, okay.
Like what?
Nice and smooth. I ain't seen anybody else say it that smooth, man.
Like what precarious geopolitical positions are we in right now? Like I'm just.
We're in the middle of a fucking war with Iran, a country of 90 million people. Oil prices are fucking soaring. Like what? Are you dude? A barrel of crude is sitting at $105 right now. That's a pretty precarious situation, dummy. People are paying double for their gas. The worst energy crisis in modern human history is going down right now. And who got us to there? You don't believe me? Look at this from the State Department. The United States is engaged in this conflict at the request of and in collective self-defense of its ally, as well as in the exercise of the United States' own inherent right to self-defense. Literally, what comes first? First. America comes second, and it's right here in the sentence. This comes from the Department of State, chat. How many more receipts do I have to show? I'm debunking every single one of this guy's lies, one by one. Quite literally, this is first, because there's no self-defense for us with Iran. Iran cannot hurt us. They're not a threat to us. They're a threat to.
Just trying to understand here. Like what precarious geopolitical positions are we in right now? Like
we're in a war that's created the worst energy crisis in modern history. You're an idiot.
I'm just trying to understand here. I'm being good faith. I'd love to have a.
No, you're not being good faith. You're. I don't know if you're just being sarcastic. But we're in a completely unnecessary war.
With this guy, honestly. And again, I hope it doesn't come down to just flinging insults at each other. I'm just curious.
That makes sense.
Yeah, like the thing is that you don't know what you're talking about. You're over here criticizing me, and you don't know what you're talking about. At least do some research before you come at me and start trying to criticize my takes. Because I got receipts for all my stuff. Where are your receipts? I've been going line by line debunking all of your lies. The 40,000 killed, overrepresentation, wars, how they dragged us in, the radicalism of the government. If I was to put it nice and succinctly in one sentence, that's basically the root of the problem.
The ability to do that is so important.
Yeah.
I'm glad you made that short and sweet. Okay.
Yeah. All right, guys, I'm a message. Hold on. Let me keep this.
Okay, I get you.
Yeah.
All right, so why was I told to react to this? This is gonna get hairy.
Got on it and like they'll just like go into random rants. But like that's basically the problem. Like right now, this war in Iran, like we are fighting that for the. And anyone that disagrees with me, go ahead and search Marco Rubio, search, preemptive attack, and you're going to see Marco Rubio admits he probably shouldn't have admitted.
Bro! Yes. We are going to war now with Iran because of the. It's totally not because Iran directly stated that their goal is to develop a nuclear.
What does it say in the State Department? The United States is engaged in this conflict at the request of and in collective self-defense of its ally. Like, bro, it doesn't. This comes from the State Department website, official government website. You guys want more receipts? Dude, this is all I do, bro. Like, this guy doesn't understand who, like, bro, this guy clearly doesn't know.
And so the president made the very wise, we knew that.
Let me turn this up for you guys. I got receipts on receipts.
There was going to be and so the president made the very wise decision. We knew that there was going to be an action. We knew that that would precipitate an attack against American forces, and we knew that if we didn't preemptively go after them before they launched those attacks, we would suffer higher casualties and perhaps even higher those killed. And then we would all be here answering questions about why we.
Oh, seems as though it matches right up with what the State Department put on their website and the Secretary of State right here. You guys want, hey, Nuxanor, whatever your name is. What is this?
American forces, and so the president made the very wise decision. We knew that there was going to be an action.
Okay, so they knew it was coming.
We knew that that would precipitate an
with or without us, and they knew that the Iranians would hit both of us back if they did it.
Attack against American forces.
They warned America about this before.
Forces, and we knew that if we didn't preemptively go after them before.
Oh, preemptively.
Before they launched those attacks, we would suffer higher casualties and perhaps even higher those killed. And then we would all be here answering questions about.
Too easy, chat. Too easy. Too easy.
Nuclear weapon to obliterate us, and also the fact that they had sent direct. Yes, we are going to war now with Iran because of the. It's totally not because Iran directly stated that their goal is to develop a nuclear weapon to obliterate us, and also the fact that they had 60% enriched uranium that they lied about.
They started enriching the uranium after the JCPOA went down. Once Trump pulled out in 2018, that's when they started enriching uranium at a higher level. Okay? So you don't know what you're talking about, number one.
Because of the.
And you're going to see Marco Rubio, search You know, he's laughing when I showed the receipts. Interesting. Oh, preemptive attack, and you're gonna see Marco Rubio admits he probably shouldn't have admitted.
Bro. Yes. We are going to war now with Iran because of the. It's totally not because Iran directly stated that their goal is to develop a nuclear weapon to obliterate us, and also the fact that they had 60%.
When did they say that? When did they say that? Because last time I checked, Ali Khamenei did a fatwa that having nuclear weapons is haram, okay?
Enriched uranium that they lied about. It totally has nothing to do with that.
No, they told us they had the highly enriched uranium. Literally, Aragachi told Steve Witkoff that we have enriched uranium and we can build warheads. They literally told us that because you were using it as a negotiating chip.
It's because of the man, these guys are awesome.
Admitted this, but
why am I not married? Why am I fat?
Okay, buddy.
I don't have children.
Can't engage with the argument. And then he said they're trying to build a nuclear weapon. Okay, I think Tulsi Gabbard, who has a way broader knowledge on this topic and a very high security clearance, literally the director of national intelligence. Let's see what she has to say.
Iran's cyber operations and capabilities also present a serious threat to U.S. networks and data. The IC continues to assess that Iran is not building a nuclear weapon, and Supreme Leader Khamenei has not authorized the nuclear weapons program. He continues to assess that Iran is not building a nuclear weapon, and Supreme Leader Khamenei has not authorized the nuclear weapons program that he suspended in 2003.
Chad, I'm not going to lie. I think this is probably one of the worst whoopings I've ever given a Zionist recent times. This is why she's getting fired, by the way, chat, because she told the truth. And that's not what Trump wanted to hear. Tulsi Gabbard is the current director of national intelligence. You know what the director of national intelligence maintains? She oversees all of the intelligence agencies. The CIA and everyone else has to report to her. And then she passed that information over to Trump. If the DNI, the person that has the most classified information of our country, the biggest secrets that Iran doesn't have a nuclear bomb, I'll go with what she says, especially when she has every incentive to lie to support Trump's concept about they do have nuclear weapons. They don't. So this guy, once again, is wrong.
The Jews
are going to attack the Iranians no matter what. And if the Iranians warned the United States and Iran, that if either or the United States attacked Iran, they were going to retaliate against both. So when the Israelis said we're going to...
Oh, I got it. Because Iran said that if attacks us, we're going to start killing Americans, all right? We're going to war with them, and it's all Israel's fault for attacking them or something.
Yeah, because Israel's going to attack with or without us. Marco Rubio literally just admitted that.
My guy.
I showed the receipt already.
You do realize Iran attacked first many times, right?
Okay, when?
So, but Israel's never allowed to attack back, or then Iran is going to bomb America? Like, do you understand what this logic is?
When did Iran attack first? Last time I checked, been attacking them first all the time, doing covert operations, bombing their embassy in Damascus. Like what? And as a matter of fact, the reason why Israel is terrified of Iran now is because Iran finally grabbed their nuts and hit Israel back during the 12-day war. And that's what made them say, we got to go back to war again because these guys can actually fuck us up. They actually started showing their capabilities during the 12-day war. So once again, you're wrong. The Iranians have been trying to antagonize and bomb the Iranians for 5 years. They bombed an embassy in Syria, dude. That's an act of war. Are you
Oh, it's the Israelis' fault that we're in this war because Iran threatened to kill us because...
Yes, the main problem in the Middle East and they are one of the biggest reasons why the Middle East is so unstable, and they want it that way. And this has been something they've been working on since the 1990s. Chad, should I show proof? I don't know if I should show proof. Or we just keep going. We can keep going. I know we got a lot of new people that are watching right now, but...
Like, oh, it's the fault that we're in this war because Iran threatened to kill us because after Iran launched terror attacks against Israel retaliated. Now Iran wants to bomb America. Okay.
Attack no matter what. They can't attack America. They don't have ballistic missiles that reach 10,000 kilometers, dude. Like they would need them to have long, like super long range. They don't have intercontinental ballistic missiles. That dragged us into the war. That is why Trump had to get involved and, go ahead and get involved in this war. And now we're in a political quagmire, bro. Because
bro, we are in a really strong political position right now.
Really? Is this the golden age? $105 for a barrel of oil? This is a good position. Strait of Hormuz closed. Gulf states no longer trust us. Military bases destroyed. 13 dead servicemen. This is a strong political position. Really? Look, Fox News is going to tell you we're winning the war. We are losing this war in every single way. Do not.
Oh my God. This is like the third world argument, bro. There's an AI video of underground missile cities taking down the USS Abraham Lincoln, my guy. We are losing.
I'm not referring to that.
The war.
Follow for the propaganda. Okay. what this guy doesn't understand is that war is conducted to effectuate a political end or a political solution. If diplomacy doesn't work, you go to war, okay? Wars are fought to get a political outcome. If you cannot get the political outcome, aka your strategic victory, you lost the war. The United States went to war for 3 main reasons. They changed the goalposts later, but the 3 original reasons were this: their ballistic missile program, the proxies, and the nuclear program. Guess what? All 3 of those things are still intact. But Trump and Marco Rubio want a W so bad, they're saying we destroyed their Navy. Nobody cares. We destroyed the Air Force. Nobody cares. The 3 reasons you guys went to war are still up and running right now. And the Strait of Hormuz is closed. And that is why that's why Trump is trying to negotiate to get the Strait back open, which that in of itself is a strategic failure from Fox News, because it's important for people to understand. And I know some people in your chat might not be aware of this stuff, so I'll kind of like explain this in a simple way.
All right, explain to me how we're losing the war with Iran. You know, the country that's literally begging us to make some sort of deal with them because they're...
No, it's us that's begging to make the deal. And we started begging literally since the beginning of this war. We went to Italy first to try to make it happen, and the Iranians said no. And they're not going to make a deal with us until they have reassurances. See, the thing that this doesn't understand is that we're fighting an optional war. The Iranians are fighting a mandatory war. When you're fighting a war to exist, you're going to go way harder than the country that is optional. This is why when we went to Afghanistan, to Iraq, right, to Vietnam, now Iran, the defending country is fighting for their existence.
They're absolutely
So they are going to go 10 times harder.
They got eviscerated militarily. They lost all their leaders at the same time.
That's irrelevant. That's irrelevant. They run a mosaic defense. Anyone that understands geopolitics knows this. A mosaic defense is it's a strategy that the Iranians utilize where everything is decentralized because they watched how fucking Saddam Hussein got toppled in a top-heavy type military infrastructure. So they have the mosaic defense where even if they are decapitated from a leadership perspective, every component of the IRGC has their marching orders of where they're going to bomb, okay? And the only person that can stop them is the supreme leader. So this is why after they were attacked, within 1 hour, they were shooting rockets right back at Israel and the United States within 1 hour. So wrong yet again. Hey guys, by the way, for you guys that are watching on YouTube, man, come on over, get ready to come on over to Kick here soon. I'm going to drop the link for you guys.
And also currently they're losing $500 million a day because of an oil blockade, to the point that all of the world's oil energy was rerouted to...
they're getting, number one, they're getting ships through. That's number one. Number two, they can go for this a lot longer because we only blocked off the blockade only blocks, let me show you guys this on the map. The blockade, even though it doesn't get everything, blocks this area. But guess what? Iran's a big country. Oh, what is this? Oh, the Caspian Sea. Oh, who's connected to Caspian Sea? Oh, Russia. Oh, okay. Oh, man. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. So you're telling me that Russia can use the Caspian Sea to support it? Oh. Interesting. See, if this guy knew a little bit of geography, he wouldn't say something so... That's why this blockade is a fucking failure. He doesn't know that Iran literally can still go through this area, which we don't control, okay? He doesn't know that Iran produces 80% of its own food. If he knew a little bit of geography, he wouldn't say something so...
Purchasing it from the United States instead of them. All right, explain to me.
Wars are fought to... Let's see here.
To the point that all of the world's oil energy was rerouted to purchasing it from the United States instead of them. All right, explain to me.
Here's the thing. People don't want to buy American oil because it's too expensive. And what ends up happening when it's expensive, everyone suffers, except for obviously the elite oil producers. Wars are... It's not a W to make oil less available. Fought to impose your political whim on another group of people.
Or because you don't want the other group of people to nuke you.
From a strategic... Yeah, you're an idiot. This guy's a dude, really? What is this?
The IC continues to assess that Iran is not building a nuclear weapon, and Supreme Leader Khamenei has not authorized the nuclear weapons program that...
All right, shut the fuck up, buddy. Purpose.
Or you just don't want them to nuke you.
This... Wrong. War. Before the war, the Strait of Hormuz was open. All the base...
Yeah, that they could have closed at any time, you know, because they're terrorists. Just like...
The fact that they could have closed it at any time and they didn't actually shows that they're fairly measured and reasonable.
Now they're bombing civilian ships. They could have bombed civilian ships whenever they wanted. You didn't want these guys to have some sort of... Imagine if they had a nuclear weapon. We would never reopen the Strait of Hormuz if they wanted it closed.
Actually, them closing the Strait of Hormuz is actually more effective than a nuclear bomb, if we're going to be very honest. Because guess what? When you drop a nuclear bomb on somebody, it really just affects that country to some degree. But when you cut off 20% of the world's energy lifeline and the ability to cut off 30 when you cut off the Red Sea with the Houthis, now you're really creating pain. So I would argue closing off the Strait of Hormuz is actually more painful than using a nuclear bomb, buddy, without all the deaths. Since we're fully functional in the Middle East, we had great relationships with our allies in the Middle East.
Still do. We have better relationships right now with our allies in the Middle East.
No, we don't. No, we don't. Are you This guy, yo, this is so frustrating that like this guy speaks as he knows what he's talking about. Hey, dude, the United States came out with another proposal. You know what's on that new proposal for Iran? That they will pull out the Middle East. The only reason that the United States would admit that they're going to pull out the Middle East is because the Gulf states don't want them anymore. Because our military bases in the region are the precise reason why they're getting attacked now. Also, these military bases cost billions of dollars to build and maintain. Do you think the Gulf states are going to let us rebuild military bases in their region, which will invite more Iranian aggression? No, dude. We're going to have to leave the region after this. The only way that we'll be able to keep military bases there is we will have to do a regime change of Iran. And that ain't happening, okay? That's not happening. Trying to invade Iran is a suicide mission, okay? There's a reason why they haven't been dominated for years. And this can just be shown by going on a map, okay? Right here, we have the significant mountain range. It's the, oh man, it starts with a K. I know the Alborz Mountains over here, so it's almost impossible to invade from the north. And then these are called the, oh my God, sorry guys, brain fart, Zagros, excuse me, sorry. Guys, I haven't slept. I think I'm doing pretty good for not sleeping for over 24 hours. So the Zagros Mountains. So Iran is almost impossible to invade, buddy, okay? So we're not gonna do a regime change. And if we can't do a regime change, that means the Gulf states cannot allow us to stay in their region without them getting blown up. So yeah, dude, we're gonna have to pull out. And the United States has already almost conceded that point.
What are you talking about? Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, Qatar, Kuwait, Bahrain, and are all working together with us against Iran. We are in literally...
And we're still losing. That's pretty embarrassing. Hey guys, come on over to Kick. Come on over to Kick, guys. I'm getting off YouTube right now. We're going to keep cooking this. And I'm telling Tactone right now to set up a debate.
We have stronger alliances with all of these countries right now.
No, we have weaker alliances because we can't protect them. We actually prioritize protecting over all the Gulf states. They're pissed off right now, dude. Dude, Mohammed bin Salman, aka MBS, the guy that runs Saudi Arabia, literally is getting Zelensky to come and help him with drones. He's pushing the Pakistanis to basically enforce their defensive pact that they signed with them earlier when they were bombed by Qatar. What are you talking about, bro? All the Gulf states are starting to realize that the aura of American protection in the Middle East is kind of a fantasy. It's not real because now that the rubber's meeting the road, we're not doing our job
now than we ever have before.
All right, guys, switch over. We're killing YouTube right now. Come on over to Kick Ninjas. And we weren't that pissed off at NATO since the war's begun.
Getting pissed off at NATO is a good thing, actually. NATO sucks. All right, we pay for 70% of NATO's we are 70% of NATO's military. I don't want us to be part of NATO at all. Oh, but France and England.
It doesn't matter. Well, that's not the point. The point is that we're losing our reputation on the international stage. Okay, if your reputation deteriorates, your credibility deteriorates, and that is very important when we are supposed to be the world power with the reserve currency. We are undermining our own authority and our status by doing this. Okay, that is why. NATO is just one example of us undermining that position that we once had. Okay, and in a world where Russia and China are quickly catching up to us, that's not a good thing.
England have some Euro that are mad at us that we're killing terrorists. I don't care. That's a skill issue. Yeah.
20% of the world's energy has pretty much been cut off.
All right, so how does that affect us? Our energy has not been.
That's how it affects us. Chat, because we're going to clip this up and cook this guy. Chat, I want you guys right now to type in the chat how much you paid for gas before the war, how much you pay now, and where you're located. Put the state and city, or put the state, whatever you guys want. But put how much you used to pay, what you pay now, and where you live. Let's cook, man. He's saying, how does this affect us? We're about to see right now, dude. There we go. Yep. So pretty much everyone's gas has doubled. So he asked this question.
Been cut off.
The world's energy has pretty much been cut off.
All right, so how does that affect us?
Well, chat's showing that right now.
Energy has not.
And here's the scary part, guys. We only get about 10% of our oil comes from the Strait of Hormuz, and we're still getting these prices.
Been cut off. Most of our energy does not come from anywhere near there. Our energy comes from us. We got like one.
Doesn't matter. We live in a globalized world, and it affects all of us, dude. The price of gas is an internationally influenced commodity. It's not a domestically influenced commodity, bro. It's obviously domestic situations are involved, but international events create way more volatility than domestic. So despite the fact that we might go ahead and have more oil or produce our own oil, that really doesn't have that much bearing on prices going up, because since oil is a commodity that everyone in the world needs, it's typically measured and managed from an international standpoint when it comes to pricing, not domestic.
1% of our energy from the Strait of Hormuz.
Iran has been making a bunch of money. Yes,
Iran is losing $500 million a day.
Yeah, but they made a bunch of money when they were, well, here's the thing. Well, we don't know how much they're making now because they might have lost some, but again, dozens of vessels have got through, so we don't really know. Also, they're accepting crypto, okay, and Chinese yuan, and each of those vessels that came through are paying $2 million apiece. And we're not catching every one of them blockade. Literally, dozens have passed through. And this comes from official sources.
Making money.
So even if the United States blockades some of them, that doesn't mean that they're still not making money. Keep in mind, they weren't making money before at all with the Strait of Hormuz. Now they are. So it's a whole new income stream.
Making money. They lost their missile factories. We obliterate.
No, they didn't. They still have over 50% of their missile capabilities. The U.S. intelligence says about 50%. Is probably more than that. Okay, even sources say 50%, despite them saying 90% at the beginning of the war. And there's hundreds of missile cities all across the country. Wrong again.
They have no Navy or Air Force.
That's irrelevant. That's not where their power comes from. Okay, and again, they don't have a Navy, but the Strait of Hormuz is still closed. So this actually makes your argument weaker.
And no ability to make money because we closed off their ports.
They're still making money. They're still making money. Maybe they took a little bit of a hit because of the blockade, but they're absolutely still making money.
They're losing.
And keep in mind that they have the Caspian Sea as well, which I explained earlier. They don't have to go through the Strait of Hormuz.
Money. Dramatically. Iran is making money. I guess you could just say things at this point.
Destroyed their Navy and Air Force, but that doesn't matter because that was never the problem in the first.
That doesn't matter.
Doesn't. Place. Now
it is a problem, actually, because one of the issues here was the fact that they might develop a nuclear weapon at some point, and we would make sure that we wanted that stopped immediately.
He suspended he continues to assess that Iran is not building a nuclear weapon, and Supreme Leader Khamenei has not authorized the nuclear weapons program that he suspended in 2003.
Immediately. All right. Just understand, we wanted to make sure that gets stopped. If they have a Navy and an Air Force and ballistic missiles, it's a lot harder to stop them from developing.
The ballistic missiles is the only real thing that we cared about, and it is cared about.
Nukes. So yeah, actually, that was the point.
The nuclear is a lie used to justify and garner support domestically, because the proxy argument doesn't benefit us and the ballistic missiles can't really touch us. So Trump has to sell the nuclear angle to justify the war. Now they're rushing towards a nuclear bomb.
Now they're moving towards a nuclear.
Yup, they definitely are now. They definitely are now, because we killed their former leader who didn't want nuclear weapons. Now the dude in charge is his son, who has a axe to grind with us.
Nuclear bomb? Now that they have no leadership or military, now
they do have a leadership.
When they're moving towards
and even if they didn't have a leadership, it doesn't matter because they have the mosaic defense, like I explained before. They can literally have all the top heads killed and still be able to fight. They designed their military this way. So you're wrong yet again.
Nuclear bomb? Like, are we being serious?
Allies in the Gulf are pissed off at us.
Our allies in the Gulf love us. They hate us.
No, they don't. They're pissed off, dude. They're literally losing money hand over fist. Okay, if you're gonna claim that Iran is losing all this money, the Gulf states have lost 10x that.
Iran, and they're telling us to finish the job.
All of our military bases in the region are gone. Yeah, you're right. They are saying to finish the job, but we can't. You're absolutely right, actually. They are saying finish the job and effectuate regime change. We can't, though, and that's the problem. That would require boots on the ground, and we're not doing that. And if we do, it's going to be really bad for us. And quite frankly, now Iran has us by the balls because they're like, look, we're not going to negotiate with you guys until...
Now Iran has us by the balls. Iran is begging us for negotiations. Or they're begging...
That's a lie. The United States is begging for the negotiations, and they have been since the beginning of the war. They asked Italy, and Iran told Italy, fuck off.
Begging us for a second round of talks right now.
Then that's when the Pakistanis came in later. So you guys, lift the sanctions, get your bases the fuck up out of here so we lose our ability.
We don't need to capitulate to any of this. This is like this.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. We can't defend the Gulf states. So what purpose is there for us to maintain bases there? They're not going to let us keep our bases there and rebuild them.
This is painful, man.
And it's going to take years anyway because we destroyed all the sophisticated radar programs that are at these bases that are put there to intercept missiles more. To be in the Middle East. You guys we're going to continue to have people go through Strait of Hormuz and pay us. And
no one's going through the Strait of Hormuz. No one's paying them. There's a blockade.
If people are paying them, and like I said before, they were paying them before, and now they're also paying them with the blockade because the United States cannot actually stop every single vessel that goes through the blockade. And again, they still have access to the Caspian Sea. Wrong yet again, buddy. You don't. We're just going to keep attacking your allies in the Gulf, make you look weak. And
which they can't really do right now.
This war is basically done. They've launched over 1,000 projectiles at the UAE, dude. What are you talking about? They've destroyed every single military base in the region. What are you talking about? Is 10 plus US bases cooked, created an energy crisis. It's humiliated us.
It's not affecting us, this quote unquote.
It's not affecting us. Did I not just show my chat where everyone is paying double for their gas? Are you dude? See, this is the problem with these people, man. Like, these guys don't live in reality. They just don't live in reality. Bro's
energy crisis
politically because we can't even defend our allies that we
humiliated us politically, that we were able to obliterate one of the largest threats in the region. All right, the largest
we didn't obliterate them.
Exporter of terrorism in the world. We were able to obliterate them.
Israel is the biggest exporter of terrorism in the world by far. far, especially in the region. They've killed more people than Hezbollah, Hamas, and the IRGC combined.
With taking minimal losses in like a couple of days? Are you being serious?
The IDF literally did a genocide, bro. What are you talking about? The IDF literally kills kids every day in Gaza. Claim to defend. It's made us look like clowns, and then we're spending an enormous amount of money to fight this war, like $2 billion a day.
That we literally spent more on Somali scammers than we did on this war. This guy's talking.
Is this guy? Did he just say that the Somali scam? Okay.
Talking about how NATO doesn't like us anymore. We spent $350 billion on the Ukraine war, which doesn't affect us at all, which doesn't benefit.
No, we did not. Hold on, I'm going to fact check that. There's no way. We didn't spend no
us in any way whatsoever. Right? It's a charity. All right. What are we even talking about?
So strategically speaking,
dude, look at that. Even chat is cooking this guy. I can't believe it.
Because his chat don't know about any of this. Tectone doesn't talk foreign policy and geopolitical affairs. His chat doesn't know what they're talking about. I cooked a couple people in his chat.
Dude, I'm literally shocked. Oh my God, this is insane. Look at chat.
An enormous amount of money to fight this war, like $2 billion a day.
No, they're not. Saudi and every other country joined us.
Hey, so strategically speaking, we are
third world cope. This is China.
All right, so what did this say a second ago?
Literally shocked. It's a charity. NATO doesn't like us anymore. We spent $350 billion on the Ukraine war, which doesn't affect us at all, which doesn't benefit us in any way.
Okay. So here's the actual numbers. So based on data, the United States is spending significantly more on the conflict in Iran than it did during the height of its support for Ukraine, with a new Middle East conflict costing roughly $1 billion to $2 billion per day. Oh, seems like I was right. So the U.S. has spent more on the Iran war in its first 3 weeks than it sent to Ukraine in the same full years of that conflict. So in a month, pretty much, almost 2 months, we've spent more than in 4 years. Yet again, this guy's wrong and debunked with receipts. Guys, this is the greatest whooping I've ever given a Zionist, dude. If this guy actually accepts a debate against me, he's going to get embarrassed. Like, this is bad. I am literally fact-checking and destroying every single point that he's making.
Whatsoever. Right? It's a charity. All right? What are we even talking about?
So, strategically speaking,
dude, look at that. Even chat is cooking this guy. I can't believe it. Oh, dude, I'm literally.
Yeah, no offense, but Tectone's chat is
really shocked.
They're not a geopolitical audience. I'm covering a topic that like his audience doesn't know and or care about, because Tectone does not cover foreign policy at all.
Oh my God, this is insane. Look at chat.
An enormous amount of money to fight this war, like $2 billion a day.
No, they're not. Saudi and every other country joined us.
Hey, so strategically speaking, we are
third world cope. This is China CCP narrative.
Losing this war. Yes, we're blowing up Iran. Yes, we're destroyed their navy. Yes, we're destroyed their air force. But that doesn't matter, because their ballistic missile program is the real danger. And there's hundreds of them.
I thought you just said that there was no danger. Like, this dude was just talking about how Iran is not actually a threat, but the real danger is the ballistic.
Yes, it's a threat to it. It's a threat to it. I literally just said this. Their ballistic missile program is a threat to it, and the proxies are a threat to it. However, that is not a threat to the United States, so Trump has to use the nuclear angle to justify the war against Iran, because saying they're going to get nukes is a very alarming, justification that will perk up the ears of Americans. That's easy to sell politically. It's not easy to sell, we need to get rid of these paramilitary organizations in the Middle East, or we need to get rid of these ballistic missiles that can't reach the homeland. He has to use the nuclear angle to justify the war.
Ballistic missiles that we haven't touched?
Underground, that we don't have the bunker busters to get into and destroy. And even if we destroy 1 or 2 of them, it doesn't matter. There's hundreds of them all over the country. Iran's a big country, bro. It's like the size of Western Europe with 90 million people, and they have an army that's 1 million people. And we're not going to effectuate the regime change that they want without boots on the ground. So it'd be in Iraq.
So we're not doing that. We don't have boots on the ground. That wasn't the objective.
But to do a regime change, we need boots on the ground. That's my point. You need boots on the ground to effectuate a regime change. You can, dude, every military analyst knows this. You cannot do a regime change without boots on the ground, because air power alone will not get you that desired effect. You need to put boots on the ground to occupy the country, stabilize it, then you leave. We tried this with Iraq and failed. So could you imagine if we tried this with Iran, which has a bigger military, a real military, but like 10?
Obviously, I would love it if the regime changed, because these guys are terrorists that have been massacring their own people. But that is not the objective.
And massacre their own people. Look up the Hannibal Directive on October 7th. They killed their own people on the worst day in their history. Times worse. So to not get hostages caught.
We're not putting boots on the ground.
Strategically speaking, we are losing this war in every single way, because we can't refute anything, just laughs.
Nux, you were called out. You have to.
Yeah, chat, for those of you that are wondering, yes, this guy's a joke.
React to this. You've been destroyed with facts and logic. Oh boy.
We are worse off right now than we were prior to the war. And now
oh my God. We are a self-sufficient country that has our energy actually working for us. We are exporting oil around the world right now. China is on their knees, backstabbing their own allies in Iran, begging us for oil. All right?
Yeah, you're number one, China is the leader when it comes to renewable energy, okay? They are not as dependent on oil as we are, despite the fact that they have a much bigger country and a bigger population, okay? We're going to go from like a per capita perspective, okay? Volatility in oil markets affect us more than China, okay? They're way ahead of us when it comes to electric cars and renewable energy. There's a reason why Chinese electric cars are not sold in America. It would put Tesla out of fucking business, all right? That's number one. And then what was the other claim he made?
Backporting oil around.
Oh, yeah. And now he's also talking about China being on its knees. Actually, no, we're on our knees, and I'll tell you why. China controls like 90% of the precious earth minerals that are utilized, okay, to make chips and to make magnets that could take high temperatures like dysprosium. China controls all of that, all right? Unfortunately, the United States has moved manufacturing out of the U.S. and passed it on to other countries. This has put us in a very precarious situation. This is why Trump threatened to invade Greenland. Do you know why he threatened to invade Greenland? Because Greenland has the minerals, it's rich in the minerals that we need to maintain our infrastructure, and Trump realizes that the United States is heavily dependent on China for these minerals. So what China is doing is they are becoming self-sufficient when it comes to energy. They're building and investing in other countries and being pragmatic. They're building alliances and relationships, not getting into wars. And that's how they're influencing the world. Meanwhile, we're starting wars all over the fucking place and running gunboat diplomacy, which quite frankly only works when you're the hegemon. But in a multipolar world where the gap is closing ever so much every year, we can't do some of the reckless shit that we do.
The world right now, China is on their knees, backstabbing their own allies in Iran, begging us for oil. All right? We are in a weaker position.
That's a lie.
Like this is unbridled levels of cope.
Yeah, they're still getting energy. They're still getting oil from Iran, dude. And why are they getting oil from Iran? Because it's cheap. Because Iran's sanctioned, idiots. So why would they buy expensive oil from us when they can continue to get it from Iran? We're trying to negotiate for pre-war conditions.
We're not negotiating for pre-war conditions. What are you even talking about?
Yeah, we're trying to open up the Strait of Hormuz. That's a pre-war condition. Time you're trying to negotiate for pre-war conditions, like this dude's you lost the war.
But that's not what's happening. No one's negotiating for pre-war conditions. You don't even.
Yes, he's been complaining about the Strait of Hormuz being open every single time. First he says it doesn't matter to us. Then he says I'm going to destroy the civilization unless the Strait of Hormuz is open. Then he's saying on Easter Day, these guys get the Strait of Hormuz open, mentions Allah. Like, this guy's just so wrong.
Even know what they're negotiating.
Doesn't know what he's talking about.
For. Well, you literally don't even know what they're negotiating for. They'll probably end up with Iran digging up their own cooked uranium and delivering it to us on a silver platter. All right?
No, that's not going to happen. If they were to actually hand over the uranium, it's going to go to one of their allies, more than likely China or Russia or Pakistan.
No,
it's not going to go to the U.S.
This is
not directly.
Painful.
That's a very interesting perspective.
Tectone, who doesn't know anything about foreign policy. I'm not saying that as a roast.
And neither do you. And neither do you. The difference between you and Tectone is at least Tectone admits that he doesn't know. You pretend to know, which I would argue is far worse. I've debunked every single one of your points during this fucking reaction.
I think foreign policy is, for your average citizen, kind of irrelevant. I think that the correct position most Americans should have on Middle East is like, yeah, I don't care. I just don't want them to kill us. Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah, you're a fuck. This dude's a fuck. Bro. I don't care. I just don't want them to kill us. You're so fuck. It's actually nuts.
Don't want them to have nukes. And I think that's a perfectly reasonable position.
So why doesn't America just nuke the fuck out of them?
Guys, like this dude right here, just so you guys know, like most Americans are like Tectone and like don't know anything about foreign policy. And then you get to the next level where you get like this guy right here, this anime that'll say, oh, I know about foreign policy, and then say all the garbage that you guys just heard. I've debunked every single one of his points with irrefutable evidence. He doesn't know what he's talking about. And it's actually painful. And it's sad that he has 112,000 views on this video, which is just a bunch of Zionist propaganda.
All right. That's a good question, Tectone. It's because America doesn't want to kill innocent people, and most of.
Well,
all right, that's a perfectly reasonable position.
So why doesn't America just nuke the fuck out of them?
All right. That's a good question, Tectone. It's because America doesn't want to kill innocent people, and most.
No, they don't care about that. On day one, they blew up a school and killed 170 little girls. So they definitely don't care about that. They dropped the Tomahawk missile on a school. Okay.
The Iranian people are just wonderful people that are oppressed by an Islamic terrorist organization.
Yeah, you're fucking. Holy. Man. You mean the terrorist organization that's fighting the United States right now and pretty much the only thing keeping them from being destroyed? That Trump threatened to send them back to the Stone Age, and that he was going to destroy power plants and desalination plants, and that he was going to destroy bridges, calling it Power Plant Day? You think the Iranian people will prefer that over their own government? Even the people that hate their government are going to side with their government because clearly we want to send them back to the Stone Age.
All right, let's see his response.
So if good question, if the United States nuked Iran, this is what would happen.
All right, it would kill lots of innocent people that America's trying not to do.
No, they don't. That's not. Trump #1 asked for the nuclear codes a couple days ago, so you're wrong on that one. But the real reason why they're not going to nuke is you guys are going to hear right here. They would blow up the entire Gulf. They destroyed.
Oh my God, dude, this is like the most third world cope I've ever heard in my life.
The desalination plants. That is what would happen. They've already proven that they can do this. They destroyed Qatar's LNG. By destroying Qatar's LNG, they pretty much stopped 20% of the world's natural gas from getting through the Strait of Hormuz. That's why, in a desperate act, the United States and Western countries lifted sanctions on Russia. They lifted sanctions on Russia to get gas plants all across the Gulf. Now, in the Gulf, desalination plants, basically what they do is they take the salt water and make it, potable and drinkable. And obviously it's in the desert, and that's where all their water comes from. If you destroy power plants and desalination plants, we're talking about a humanitarian crisis.
But he thinks that if we nuke Iran, Iran will be able to obliterate the desalination plants of every single Arab Gulf country.
Yeah, they have missiles pointed at all of them. Yeah, they absolutely can. They absolutely can. If we nuke Iran, they're going to destroy the Gulf. No doubt about that. That's why Trump has been extended the ceasefire indefinitely. Trump knows what will happen if he nukes. Deep down, he knows. Still trying to get the nuclear codes, and Kane didn't let him. But deep down, he knows that if he nukes Iran, it's over for our allies and over for Israel too. Tel Aviv will burn if Iran gets hit with a nuke. And what this doesn't understand is that Iran has something called second strike capability. What that means is they've designed their entire military infrastructure to be, #1, decentralized. #2, no matter how many hits they have, they can, or how hard they get hit, they can still launch a secondary attack. This is why they have missile cities all over the country, strategically placed for that very reason.
Well, like, are we being serious? Like, this is crazy. Iran is cooked.
Yeah, using a nuke is crazy. So therefore, they will retaliate and be crazy too. And everything they threatened that they were going to do, they've done. They literally said, if you attack us, we're going to attack both of you as if you guys are one. If you attack us, we are going to destroy the Gulf states' military bases. And they have done everything they said they were going to do.
They have basically no weapons left. Like, these guys got absolutely obliterated. They did everything.
No, they produced their own drones in-house, which are cheap to make. They produce all their own ballistic missiles. Everything is domestically made, okay? And they've been rearming and getting equipment from China.
In their power to kill, to blow up. Right? They blew up one building in.
And they can absolutely blow up
over the course of like this entire war.
This guy's said they blew up one building during the whole course of the war. Are you? They've been cooking Tel Aviv and Haifa. The reason why you don't know is because it has a huge censorship law in place right now to ensure that the damage isn't shown, because it's supposed to be the homeland for the where it makes them feel safe. So from an optics standpoint, they can't show Tel Aviv on fire.
All right, are we being serious? And they're going to be able to cripple the entire world now if we nuke them? If we nuke them, they're gone. The reason why we're not doing that is because Trump doesn't want to kill
no, they're not gone. They will still be able to fight back because they're underground. And we can destroy all their underground locations, dude.
Million people.
Where 50 million people live in the region. And these are all our allies, Qatar, Bahrain, UAE, etc. So if we were to nuke Iran, they would destroy the Gulf.
Oh my God, dude. You cannot be serious.
Completely. And we're talking about...
If we nuke Iran would be dead. And that would be it. And there would be no more Iran. And there would be... and that would be it. It would be a wasteland. They would not then decide, yeah, after we got nuked, we're going to fight back. Yeah, sure you will.
A humanitarian crisis and... yeah, that's literally how their military is designed. It's literally designed to withstand a nuke and be able to attack back. Has a nuke and the United States has a nuke, and those are their main enemies. So wouldn't it make sense for them to, because they've spent decades preparing for this energy crisis, it would be very bad. That's why Trump has been very reluctant to bomb the power plants like he says he wants, because he knows that if he bombs those power plants, Iran is going to retaliate by destroying the Gulf. Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, UAE, all these countries rely on us for protection, which we can't protect them right now. All of our bases are destroyed.
Anyway.
And they're
all of our bases are destroyed? Did he just say that? No.
Yeah, they are. Al Udeid and all the other ones are destroyed. They're uninhabitable, according to reputable news sources. That's why they had to move all the soldiers out of the area and put them in hotels.
No, he didn't just say that.
Iran, UAE, all these countries rely on us for protection, which we can't protect them right now. All of our bases are destroyed.
Source? I saw an AI propaganda video from Pakistan. I believed it.
And they're going to destroy Tel Aviv.
They've been trying to destroy Tel Aviv for like the last 47 years.
Bro, this guy is fucking stupid. #1. Hold on, I got something for you. What is this? Interesting. Literally, what was this? Tel Aviv getting bombed. It's from a couple of days ago. Attack Lebanon. Ankle ballistic strike in Tel Aviv. This was just a couple of days ago, bro. So they're absolutely hitting it. That's number one. What was this guy's name again? Tel Aviv.
They've been AI propaganda video. Source, I saw an AI propaganda.
Which we can't protect them right now. All of our bases are destroyed.
Source, I saw an AI propaganda video from Pakistan. I believed it.
And they're going to destroy Tel Aviv.
They've been trying to destroy Tel Aviv for like the last 47 years. They've been trying to destroy That's literally their favorite thing.
No, the first time they attacked was during this 12-day war. Or actually had a real conflict with them, like a real conflict, and actually started shooting real missiles.
To do is trying to destroy Tel Aviv. Well, are we being serious, man? Like,
okay, so here we go, because this guy's he said source. Here we go. As of April 2026, Iranian strikes have heavily damaged or rendered unusable at least a dozen U.S. military base sites in the Gulf region, including bases in Kuwait, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and Bahrain. Key sites like Al Udeid, Prince Sultan, and Fifth Fleet headquarters suffered damage to infrastructure, aircraft, and radar systems, forcing personnel into hotels. So, yeah, here we go. NBC News 11 hours ago. Iran caused more extensive damage to U.S. military bases than publicly known. I mean, dude, like, how many receipts have I pulled up now at this point? Are we like at like 50 or 100 at this point? Like I'm just like cooking this guy, bro. Like, just absolutely destroying this guy. Like, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about at all. It's actually nuts. And this just came out 11 hours ago because the United States has been doing everything in their power to not show damage and as well.
This is crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy for you because you're stupid.
Oh my God.
So if we nuke them and you don't know what you're talking about, say goodbye to the entire region for pretty much in the Gulf and say goodbye to Israel.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they have been trying to destroy it for the last 47 years. Themselves, they fired missiles at civilians, cluster munitions, everything you can.
That would okay. I know this guy's an idiot. They didn't start using cluster munitions until this war. That's how I know this guy's. Bro, they did not use cluster munitions until this war. So what are you talking about? They've been trying to destroy for 47 years. And then you talk about cluster munitions. Incredible, bro. Incredible.
Can think of. They get terrorist organizations like Hezbollah.
The Lumba says, thank you for the 5 gifted, bro. The Lumba, Joey Abdul, Alexander the Great, hard R, shout out to all you guys, man, with the gift subs. Love you, ninjas.
And Hamas and the Houthis.
All those terrorist organizations were created what? Oh, after Israel. Hezbollah, Houthis, Hamas, they were all created to fight back against
they tried everything they can. But after they get nuked, that's when they'll release their trump card and destroy at last. My God, this is crazy.
My chat just said Trump is about to nuke. He addressed it this morning.
Yeah, sure. No, he's not.
And if he does, he's cooked. He did make a tweet saying that they're going to hit the power plants and stuff like that. But if he does that, he changes his mind every 5 minutes. He said that he's going to hit the power plants if they don't do a deal. Yeah. But I'll tell you, dude, if he goes ahead and he hits the power plants or destroys their bridges, the Gulf is done, dude. The Gulf is done.
It's not cooked.
Dude,
this guy's bro, the Gulf doesn't have interceptor missiles anymore. Like, they're pretty much all gone, okay? And again, this guy clearly doesn't know a map, okay? If you pull up Iran, Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar, UAE, Oman, dude, you could throw like a pebble and get to these countries, okay? They're using drones. Do you get that, dude? They're using drones and these guys up, and their interceptors are pretty much gone now at this point. And the interceptors cost way more money to make than the drones. The drones cost roughly $10,000 to $20,000 to make. The interceptor missiles cost millions of dollars.
Because Iran, the country with like zero military power, is gonna obliterate all these other countries.
Yes, there's a reason why Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Oman, none of them dare to attack Iran for that reason, dude. Despite the fact that Iran is bombing them, none of these countries have really retaliated because they know better.
I need to get more into politics, bro.
Yeah, true.
And I'll tell you this too. So the other thing with Trump, right, is that he posts on True Social, and what he does is he does this to like kind of, he's really concerned with the markets. And a barrel of oil right now, let me look, a barrel of Brent crude is sitting at
90 now, something like that.
Because that's like really, anytime the price of oil goes,
it's pretty low. I mean, it's not like low, but it's way lower than during Biden for sure.
It's up what to okay, so a barrel of Brent right now sitting at about $92, which is still very high, dude. Anything over that's not good. This guy is so. Dude, anything over like 80 is really bad. What is he talking about?
It's okay. That's not so high.
Yo, like, this is so, like, yo, there's nothing worse than people like this, dude. This is, like, people like this, I would argue, are worse than people that have no clue, and I'll tell you why. I'd rather talk to someone that has no clue with an open mind than someone that pretends to have a clue. Like, this is actually way more frustrating. Like, he's so wrong, it's painful. $90 for a barrel of oil is nuts, dude.
It vary within the margin of normal.
$80 is really bad. No, normal is somewhere between 50 to 70. Once you get into 80, it starts to get pretty bad. Being at 90 is horrible. Over 100 is awful. So
my God, it was 130 for 4 years under Biden.
We got to a high of like 140. Nah, I don't believe that. Let me double check that. I don't think though. It was not at 130 during Biden. 150 per barrel? Dude.
For like a day?
We're talking about people's gas prices doubling. And when gas prices double, no, it's hit 140 multiple times. Yeah, this guy's a liar. So Brent, right? So the first 3 years of Biden term, approximately $80 per barrel, with the price averaging 86 in 2022, staying elevated for much of that year. This was during the, and keep in mind, this was during the Russia invasion, right? So initial price, when Biden took office, Brent crude was sitting at $53 a barrel. 2022 surge. Following the Russian invasion of Ukraine, Brent crude hit a high of approximately $139 per barrel in 2022. A high, okay? Now, what is the high? Probably going to be 150. Brent had a high approximately 120 to 121. No, dude, it hit 140. There you go. The data Brent contract, which reflects the immediate physical reported higher levels exceeding 140 on some assessments. So, and keep in mind, this 139 was the absolute highest. We've hit 140 a couple of times, okay? And this war is way shorter, or has been going for less than the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Well, everything else goes up alongside. And then again, the reason why this is unacceptable is because Trump literally campaigned on affordability and no new wars. So even if Biden did say, let's say Biden did have more, it doesn't matter because this goes against what Trump campaigned on. That's the reason why people are pissed off, dog. We voted Biden out because of that, and Trump did the same shit. So even if Biden did have higher prices, that's irrelevant. Biden didn't campaign on no new wars and keeping affordability low. Trump did. The price of food, price of energy, you know, like the economy suffers. And the thing is that, and again, keep in mind that we hit that high of 140 to 150 on Brent with Trump posting on Truth Social. And they just released, they used the IEA, the emergency, they did a barrel deployment, an emergency energy reserve deployment. They put like 40 million barrels out or some shit like that. That didn't happen under Biden either. We released the most amount of strategic oil ever, and the price still is comparable to that of Biden. So Trump's is way worse. That's just short term. So like if we were to actually nuke Iran,
it's just short term. That's a good thing though.
They would destroy all the oil infrastructure. We
get our oil from America because we're drilling. We get 1% of our oil from Hormuz. This is crazy.
That's irrelevant. Once again, irrelevant.
Crazy.
And the gas prices show that.
Like, what are we even doing here, man?
Across the region, and that would put the world in a global panic.
We're not
like, it would literally
Iran.
We already have the worst energy crisis ever, and things aren't even really.
We do not have the worst energy crisis ever. You are literally streaming in your house with electricity. You have a car that drives. This is the worst energy crisis ever. What are we being serious, bro?
So what do you?
Sorry, I totally, guys. I'm sorry. I totally missed this. They would destroy all the oil infrastructure.
We get our oil from America because we're drilling. We get 1% of our oil from Hormuz. This is
okay, buddy. If that's true, then why have prices doubled? Like, you're just wrong.
Crazy. Like, what are we
Prices have doubled still.
even doing here, man?
Across the region, and that would put. This is why like so many YouTubers are. Because like they just don't identify with the common people, man. The world in a global panic.
We're not
like, it would literally
Iran.
we already have the worst energy crisis ever, and things aren't even really.
We do not have.
Yes, it is. Experts, geopolitical experts, everyone agrees that this has been the worst energy crisis since 1973, when the Arab world imposed an embargo on and allied states.
The worst energy crisis ever. You are literally streaming in your house with electricity. You have a car that drives. This is the worst energy crisis ever. What are we being serious?
This guy's dude. Holy. Hey, bro, the world doesn't revolve around you. The world doesn't revolve around me. I have the wherewithal to understand that just because it's not affecting me as harshly doesn't mean it's not affecting other people harshly. Wow.
Yes, bro.
So what do you think's gonna happen then?
As far as like completely, like the my total.
Yeah. So Trump's not gonna nuke them.
This guy lives in a bubble, bro. Well, I'm not hungry, so world hunger must not be real. Bro, but this guy's a. He's arguing like a woman. Actually, he was using his own subjective reality to like say this is how the world works. Like this dude is literally like this is how we argue. Most that's okay, bro. It's called generalities. World hunger is a big problem. Well, I'm not hungry. Okay, dude.
No.
If he doesn't nuke them,
If
He's not gonna
does,
nuke
yeah.
them.
So if he doesn't,
He's not
what
nuking
do you
them.
think's going to happen with
He's not
Iraq
gonna
and
nuke them.
America?
if he does, he's cooked.
Yeah, he's not going to nuke them.
So to be honest, dude, the U.S. is going to have to concede on some stuff if we actually want to have like a diplomatic end to this, where we can like have some semblance of like affordable. Because here's the thing that people don't understand:
He's not
the
even
American
answering the
public is
question.
who's going to suffer from this. When the cost of a barrel of oil hits $100 plus, everyone's going to feel that because your gas prices go up, and then your food costs go up, and everything else goes up alongside it. Energy prices, energy, and everything else. Look at him saying, I hate. This guy probably is like rich, so for him it doesn't matter. So he's completely lost touch in reality of like how bad this is for the average American. Here's another thing too that no one's talking about. Iran has been making money because guess what? We lifted the sanctions off.
Iran is not making money.
Russia, yeah, they are. They're making money off the Strait of Hormuz, which they were never doing before, and off Iran. So the very country we're fighting a war.
Iran is fucking cooked, bro. We blockaded them. They're losing $500 million a day.
Against that, we've sanctioned into. Like we've lifted sanctions and people could buy their oil now, so they're making money.
They cannot buy their oil now because they cannot ship their oil anywhere because of our blockade.
Caspian Sea, and ships are still getting through. Okay, dozens of ships have made it through.
Which will happen until
so they're still making money.
There's a deal.
Every one of those vessels gives them $2 million. So ships are still getting through. It might not be all of them like before, but they're absolutely getting ships through. And this has been literally widely reported by many different news agencies, reputable news agencies.
The war resumes.
That's a fact. It's like we've completely strengthened our enemies. We've strengthened China. We've strengthened Russia. We've strengthened.
What? Russia gets most of its weaponry from Iran. Most of its
Iran
most
in
of
this
its
war. Is this guy? No, Russia does not get its weaponry from Iran at all. What Russia gets is drones. So what happened in the beginning of the war, when Russia first invaded Ukraine and started taking land, and then the Ukrainians were able to fight back, the Russians started getting drones from the Iranians. And what the Russians were able to do is they were able to take the Shahed drones, reverse engineer them, make them domestically, and now they make their own drones. So in the beginning, yes, the Iranians were critical to helping them to get their drones. But the Russians are smart. They reverse engineered it, made it more efficient, and now they domestically produce it. So no, Iran is not giving them weapons. Only in the beginning, but not anymore. If anything, the Russians are giving the Iranian weapons and the Chinese, despite the
most of Russia's disposable weaponry, like the Shahed drones and because suicide bombing is kind of the suicide drones are like suicide bombing is.
Let's see if this guy's smart. Let's see where he goes with this.
Like they were like,
I just explained to you the Shahed drones and what's going on. Let's see what he says.
We have to talk to the Iranians, and then, so that weaponry is not going their way anymore because obviously, that's why Ukraine is working with us, ironically, against Iran right now. Ukraine is one of the actual nations that's trying to help us because they understand that a lot of the supply chain, the weaponry that's going to Russia comes from Iran. That's one. And two,
that's not true anymore. In the beginning, it was, but the Russians have pretty much mastered and made their own drone based on the Shahed. Let me get some receipts for you. This guy's dude. This guy is so stupid.
China has no oil. This is crazy. This is insane. China was strengthened through this. China is literally sucking our toes right now.
All right, once again, debunk this. Yes, Russia is now producing massive quantities of its own drones. While initially relying on Iranian imports, Russia shifted to domestic production in late 2023, specifically at the Al-Buga Special Economic Zone. Bro, I can't be stopped. I can't be stopped. Receipt after receipt after receipt after receipt after receipt. I back everything up with facts. This is 3 years late. So now they have their own. It's called the Garan 2, okay? By late 2025, Russia was producing over 5,000 upgrade Garan 2 drones per month. This guy's getting baked. We're going to have to clip this chat. We're going to have to do like side by side. He makes a claim and then I just debunk it.
Now, because they have no oil unless it's coming from us.
The fact that we destroyed a lot of their infrastructure. But I think if we want to have some time amicable end to this where the world doesn't end and like we're not like, paying $10.
The world's not going to end.
For a gallon of oil. We need to come up with some kind of diplomatic solution and work with the Iranians and like stop letting them dictate our foreign policy because
bro sounds like Joe Kent. Another one of these.
Joe Kent, number one, worked in a national terrorism center. Number two, he had a higher clearance than you. Number three, he served this country at the highest level as a special operator. Okay, he was basically a tier 1 operator, working with Delta and the SEALs and everything else. You wouldn't be able to walk a day in his shoes. Okay, he was pretty much the number 2 under Tulsi Gabbard. So I'm gonna take his opinion or his assessment way more seriously than yours. He has a clearance, you don't. So for him to go ahead and resign and write the letter the way that he did, when he had a clearance and was intimately involved to some degree in our intelligence community, proves that this war is. It actually gives him significantly more credibility. And he served in that region. You're a using an anime avatar. Joe Kent is a highly decorated veteran that served this country at the highest level. You are not the same as him. Shut the fuck up. I don't like using a call to authority, but sometimes it actually makes sense to utilize. And in this case, someone that's been in the region, understands the region, has been in the intelligence world, worked with the CIA, worked with all of our different components of the intel community, oversaw them under Tulsi Gabbard. If he comes down and says, hey, this war is really being fought for, I'm going to take what he says way more seriously than some using an anime avatar dude. Okay? Joe Kent is a fucking patriot. You can dislike him personally, you can dislike him politically, but one thing you can't take away from him is that the guy got a resume, okay? And obviously this guy doesn't understand that. Our foreign policy. From what I understand, this dude, I think is someone told me this guy's a Canadian Jew because
bro sounds like Joe Kent. Another
Iranians, and like stop letting this dictate our foreign policy because
bro sounds like Joe Kent. Another one of these.
Oh, really? Chad, is it time to cook again? I think it's time to cook again, Chad. Let's play that one more time here. Close this out. These are sabotaging a lot of the diplomacy. Like
They're sabotaging the diplomacy. Dog, every time Trump tells these to stop, he stops.
No, they don't. They bomb Qatar while we're in the middle of a fucking ceasefire. They're bombing Lebanon now. You have to tell them several times to stop bombing Lebanon, and they're bombing Lebanon once again. Are sabotaging.
Bro sounds like Joe Kent.
You know, a gallon of oil. We need to come up with some kind of diplomatic solution and work with the Iranians and like stop letting this dictate our foreign policy because
bro sounds like Joe Kent.
Yeah, me, Joe Kent, Scott Horton, Ryan Dawson, you know, people that like actually understand Middle Eastern foreign policy. Like we all know that controls our foreign policy. John Mersheimer, like what? Robert Pape, like these guys, like what are you talking? These guys are all far more qualified than you to talk about this topic, that they do run our foreign policy. And since you're going to say that they don't run our foreign policy and that I sound like Joe Kent, let me go ahead and show you some receipts, buddy.
Every single time, every single crime, every single lie, early lie, every single hour, every single day, every single night, early lie. I know it's hard to believe it's the whole forest, not one tree, and it's every branch and leaf. They're born to deceive, but I'm telling you the truth. It's not just one or two, it's every single Jew. They all hate you. And it really breaks my heart that their lies are off the charts and they only bring us harm. You gotta get smart. So if you want to be safe and don't want to get replaced, it's best you start being based or you'll get erased. Every single time, every single crime, every single lie, early life, every single hour, every single day, every single night, early life. I know it's hard to accept that all the ones you've met lie with every single breath. They want you dead, but you must not be weak. Just open your eyes and see they always exploit the meek. See their vampire teeth, and it can make you cry to learn your life was full of lies and their face was a disguise. But you must fight. So if you want to live and protect all of your kin, you have to grow thick skin, or we won't. Every single time, every single crime, every single lie, early life, every single hour, every single day, every single night, early life.
Let's see here. So let's go back, get that video up. So I had to go ahead and get some hold on one sec, chat. Let me get that video back up for 1 second. Where's this? Where'd it go? What's this guy account again? I accidentally deleted the Nuxanor. Yay.
Another one of these.
Okay. And like stop letting this dictate our foreign policy because
bro sounds like Joe Kent. Another one of these.
Okay. Let's go through this. So a clean break memo. What is this, guys? It was basically a policy document that was prepared in 1996 by a group led by Richard Pearl for Benjamin Netanyahu and then Prime Minister of Israel. The report explained a new approach to solving Israel's security problems in the Middle East with an emphasis on the Western values. It has since been criticized for advocating a policy removing Saddam Hussein from power in Iraq and the containment of Syria by engaging in proxy warfare. And if you guys look at all these names, the majority of these people are Jews, okay? Mayrev Wormser is American neoconservative. David Wormser, another Jew. Douglas Feith, Jew, okay? Richard Pearl, Jew. Robert Lowenberg, Jew. Robert Kagan, the guy that founded the Project for New America, okay? Which these were the ones that were the architects of the Iraq War. Who led that? The PNAC? William Crystal, Robert Kagan, both Zionist Jews, okay? Paul Wolfowitz, also another Zionist Jew that worked under the Bush administration, all right? John Bolton wasn't Jew, but the majority of these neocons are Jews. Now, you guys are probably wondering, PNAC, this is interesting. Well, I have something interesting to show you guys as well. Because if you type in PNAC 2000, right, and you go in here, Rebuilding America's Defenses, let's see, this was put out in September of 2000. Interesting. Okay, let's do a Control F. Pearl Harbor, right? This is weird. So, further, the process of transformation, even if it brings revolutionary change, is likely to be a long one, absent some catastrophic and catalyzing event like a new Pearl Harbor. What did that lead to? I think I know, man.
It's not my fault that I have to do this. You only pick on me because I'm stop being a jealous and go get a job. I can do what I want because I'm chosen by God.
So, since the 1990s, we've pretty much been plotting to take over the Middle East, and this document right here, a clean break memo, was the document that kind of put this strategy all out there. And this was a policy paper written by Americans for a foreign leader. And the majority of the writers are American, okay, neocons. And all of this led to 9/11, where intelligence operatives were caught dancing and celebrating. This, my friends, is a declassified FBI report from the day that they were captured right after 9/11. Two of them had ties back to intelligence. So let me get this straight. You had 5 in New Jersey watching the towers burning, and they were there before the towers got hit, and they were taking pictures, dancing, and celebrating. And they have ties to intelligence, and they had foreknowledge. Interesting. If these guys were Muslims, they'd be in Guantanamo Bay. But what did they do with these Jews? Oh, you know what they did? They just deported them back to. How do I know that they knew what was going to happen? I'll show you right now. I got receipts on receipts. I'm showing you guys FBI reports. This was them on a talk show after being deported. Look at the date, November 2001. These spent only like 2 months in jail.
Taken for another round of questioning. And at that point, we were taken for another round of questioning.
He's talking about when the FBI brought them in for questioning.
This time related to our allegedly being members of Mossad.
Okay.
The fact of the matter is, we are coming from a country that experiences terror daily. Our
You come from a country that experiences terror daily. Interesting. I don't know why you would say that, but okay.
purpose was to document the event.
Oh, your purpose was to document the event, but how'd you know what was happening?
The 5 were detained for 10 weeks and finally deported on immigration violations after the FBI.
How much do you guys want to bet if they were Muslims, they would have gotten cooked? They'd be in Guantanamo Bay right now, but since they're they didn't have to. You guys want to hear something else crazy?
Oy vey, oy vey, oy vey. They know we run the banks. Oy vey, oy vey, oy vey. They know we pimp the skanks. Oy vey, oy vey, oy vey. They know we start the wars. Oy vey, oy vey, oy vey. They now hate us even more. It's very hard to be a Jew today. Everyone's always got something mean to say. They make fun of my nose every night and day. I wish all the anti-Semites would just go away. The guy are mad at me for the Gaza genocide, but it's not my fault. All these kids chose to die. Sure, I'm the one who ordered the strikes, but it's the baby's fault for not staying alive. Oy vey, oy vey, oy vey. They know we run the banks. Oy vey, oy vey, oy vey. They know we pimp the skanks. Oy vey, oy vey, oy vey. They know we start the wars. Oy vey.
Yeah, so anyway, Chertoff at the time, he was the United States Attorney for the District of New Jersey. Interestingly enough, he was running New Jersey. And where did these guys get caught? In New Jersey. Okay, interesting position to have when these guys got caught, don't you think? Also, his mom was heavily involved with the Mossad. They are sabotaging a lot of the diplomacy. Like, I just showed you guys 30 years worth of history of Israel creating our foreign policy and get us into wars with proof. And this guy has nothing.
They're sabotaging the diplomacy. Dog, every time Trump tells these to stop, these stops. He didn't want a ceasefire right now. Trump wanted a ceasefire. And he said, yeah, sure, whatever you say, big dog, because that's ultimately the guy who calls the...
Yeah, here's the thing. Just because they obey us once doesn't mean they're obedient. This guy doesn't get it. Like, just because you obey once doesn't mean you're obedient overall.
Shots. Bro, that's crazy.
They do all kinds of all the time. They've stolen nukes from us. They've done all types of stuff. They spy on us. They're still bombing in Lebanon when there was supposed to be a ceasefire.
There was no ceasefire in Lebanon. Like, these guys...
Yeah, yes, there was. It was literally a part of the 10-point plan that they agreed to. Do I need more proof? Oh, you know what? I'm already cooking this, dude. So let me go ahead and show you guys, right? So they had a 10-point plan that Trump agreed to. So what the f? I think I have an account with Wall Street Journal. Hold on. What the? Let me log in real quick. Chat. Give me 1 sec. So, okay. President Trump in his post on Truth Social said the U.S. had received a 10-point proposal from Iran that was a workable basis to which to negotiate. Interesting. Okay, let's go through that 10-point plan real fast. Okay, here's the 10-point plan. Interesting. Let's see. So, termination of all UN Security Council resolutions, termination of all resolutions against Iran, lifting of all secondary sanctions, lifting of all primary sanctions, acceptance of Iran's right to nuclear enrichment, reparations, withdrawal of U.S. combat forces and bases in the region, ending the regional war on all fronts, including against Iran's ally Hezbollah. So let's see here. Let me get this straight.
It's just crazy.
They're still bombing in Lebanon when there was supposed to be a ceasefire.
There was no ceasefire in Lebanon.
Hey, buddy, it's right here. This was a part of their 10-point plan that Trump agreed to. In his own words, said that it's a workable basis to negotiate, okay? And it was literally number 3 in their 10-point plan. Wrong again.
Like, these guys just lie. There was never a ceasefire.
I just showed the receipts. You're lying.
Fire in Lebanon. Well, now there is. But when the ceasefire started, there was no ceasefire in Lebanon. The ceasefire stopped us from bombing Iran.
No, you The U.S. gave a 15-point plan. The Iranians countered with a 10-point plan. Trump said, okay, this 10-point plan is workable. That 10-point plan explicitly stated that the war in Lebanon must stop. It was number 3 on their list, dude, okay? You lost. I'm sorry. Trump himself said that the 10-point plan was workable, and it was explicitly in their 10-point list.
And stop from bombing Iran. It had nothing to do with Lebanon. Hezbollah is a terror.
It had everything to do with Lebanon because Hezbollah is a close ally of Iran because Hezbollah actually fights on the ground, and they f*** them up.
Terrorist organization in Lebanon that's been bombing Israel, and it was.
They're a terrorist organization? Okay, great, man. But how are they created? They were created because of it. Oh, whatever.
Not included.
They were created in 1982 because it invaded Lebanon. Once again, are the ones that create the terrorism that they complain about.
In the ceasefire.
They're f***ing it up.
I'm so uneducated on this topic.
Yeah. Anyway, if you were, you would have
Well, at least you're humble about it. This guy's uneducated too, but he pretends to know it.
probably silenced him because, like, that's crazy levels of cope. But anyway, I was
Once again, I've shown receipts for every single one of my points.
told I needed to react to this. I was called out by name specifically. All right. So yeah. Anyway.
Okay, so here we go. Nuxanor, or whatever the fuck your name is. Okay, I will happily debate you. I just went through and debunked every single one of your assertions because you don't know what you're talking about. So if you want to go ahead and have a debate, Tectone can go ahead and moderate it, okay? But I think, I'll be honest with you, you're going to get cooked and it's going to be very embarrassing for you. If I were you, I would stick with the anime. But I would be happy to absolutely demolish you and make you look like so go ahead. You accept the challenge, we'll make it happen. Let me know. I think the people would like to see it. You're going to get one of the worst whoopings in debate history because unlike you, I have receipts to prove everything I'm talking about. There you go. Challenge is issued. And honestly, I'll debate any Zionist that has a decent following, okay? Obviously, I'm not a fucking charity organization. I'm not going to go backwards and debate some fucking no-name. I only debate people that are worthy, okay? That have a sizable audience so it actually makes sense. You know, I'm not a fucking commercial to promote these no-name. So yeah, there you go. Challenge is issued. I texted Tectone. He can moderate. We could do timed rounds. We could go with one topic, multiple topics, etc., and go from there. But I don't anticipate that you will want to actually do a debate after seeing this if you actually see this. But yeah, anyway, let's see here.